Yo, I got a really funny story about my calves. Maybe funny to others. For me, I was like, what the fuck? But every day I work, I wear slacks, you know, a polo, you know, professional is higher. But on days that I'm gonna decide to work out there, because, you know, I work at a recreation center, I work at a gym, I'm gonna be wearing my sweats. And I wear sweats specifically because I don't have the biggest calves in the world. And I'm tired of people looking at my calves and thinking, oh, he skips legs. No, no, no. I'm proportionate from the knee up. But this one time, I decided to wear shorts instead of sweats. One of my coworkers went up to me and it's like, hey, from your upper body, from the waist up, you look like, you know, you lift, but your legs, look at your calves, you look like a freshman who's starting off his lifting journey. I was like, what the fuck, dude? What's up, everyone? David here. Got a new video for y'all today. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel every week, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. So we're gonna actually be talking about a very sensitive topic, very sensitive to me, and I'm pretty sure very sensitive to others, and that being calves. Man, it's not my fault I got small calves, all right? I'm trying here. I don't want to be hearing any comments, any haters saying, oh, your calves are small. I'm tired of wearing shorts and people look at my calves and say, oh yeah, he skips leg day. No, 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 no. Let's get this straight. I'm proportioned from the knee up, all right? My thighs are good. My quads are nice and defined. Hammies are hanging off the bone. You know, I got that. It's just my calves, for whatever reason, are small. But I would like to point out, they're not as small as they used to be, all right? There was a time when it was even worse. I mean, this is ridiculous right here. I mean, I don't understand why we see these middle-aged dads. They haven't stepped foot in the gym in their life and they got calves the size of tree trunks. What the fuck? I wasn't blessed with the biggest of calves, but lately I've been trying out these 5 exercises that have made my calves grow a little bit more and a little faster than normal. So I'm gonna share whatever those 5 exercises are with y'all. But before we get into those, let's talk about what do the calves allow us to do. Well, realistically, the calves have 2 main parts, and there's a third one that people often neglect. The 2 main parts are going to be the gastrocnemius or gastroc, and then the soleus. So think of the gastroc as the big ball of the calf. I mean, if you were looking right here, it's this part right here, the big beefy part. Afterwards, we got the soleus, which is closer down to the ankle, which actually runs underneath as well, but you know, it's the thinner part of the calf. Both of them allow us to go like this. Boom, kick the toes out. So what motion does that mimic? A calf raise. That's all calves right there. That's your gastroc and your soleus working together. Now, we'll like to point this out. The soleus is going to be worked no matter what. The thinner part of your calf, no matter whether you're doing a calf raise standing up with your knees locked out or doing it seated with your knees bent, the soleus is always going to be working. The one that is going to differ though, it's going to be the gastroc, the big ball. That one is only going to be worked when your knee is locked out. Why? Because it crosses the knee joint. It attaches to up here. So if your knee is bent, you're shortening that muscle. It's not going to work as much. So gastroc, emphasis, knee straight. Soleus, knee straight and knees bent. Now, what is that third part? We already talked about the calf. Everyone thinks it's the back part of your shin, but keyword there is shin. What is your shin? Front part right here. There's a thinner part in the front of your shin right here, a little bit more towards the outer part. That right there, tibialis anterior. Tibialis, tib anterior, whatever you want to call it, that's the front part of your calf. That's what allows you to do the opposite motion. So instead of pushing your calf or your toes down, it allows you to bring your toe, boom, up like that. So again, it goes from right here, boom, like that. That's also a part of your calf. Think of it as if it was your forearm. You got the big beefy part of your forearm down here, which allows you to, boom, go down. But oftentimes people neglect the top part, which allows you to bring it up like that. So we got to hit all parts of the calves. So what are these 5 exercises that I'm talking about? First things first, standing calf raise. I mean, come on, you don't got to overcomplicate it. Calf raises are calf raises, but there are correct ways to do it. There are good ways and there's better ways. A lot of times when people are doing them calf raises, what do? They just start bouncing up and down like this. They're just half-assing the motion, just going through, you know, not really feeling the burning, not really feeling the stretch in the calf. Whenever you're doing these calf raises, and it goes for any variation, it doesn't have to be standing calf raises, it could be seated, machines, free weight, whatever it is. If you're gonna be training your calves to build them up, grow that muscle, go all the way down, feel the stretch in your calves, and then go all the way up. Squeeze, hold it for a second. Think about it. For a bench press, what do? We don't just half-ass it and bounce the bar up and down on our chest. No, when we do curls, we don't just go like this real fast, just bouncing the bar, curling it up and down real fast. No, we go nice and controlled, full range of motion, feeling the squeeze at the top, feeling the stretch at the bottom. So why aren't we doing the same thing when it comes to calves? You got to treat it just like any other muscle group. So standing calf raises, you got so many different variations. I personally like just doing it on the Smith machine, bar right here in hand, boom, up and down, slow control, and load it up. I mean, you want to go heavy, think about every other muscle group. How do we train it? Roughly 8 to 12 rep ranges. We're failing within that rep range. You know, we're struggling within that rep range. Same thing with the calves. Load it up to a good weight that allows you to get 8 to 12 good hard working sets and get a good amount of working reps in there. Now, next, what are we going to do? It is still going to be a calf raise, and it's still gonna be standing, but the little variation that I've recently come across that I've been implementing in my program, and honestly, I've been loving the results. Again, my calves are still small, but they're not as small as they used to be. This one, for lack of a better term, I'm just gonna call it 30-30 calf raises. Why? It's because I'm doing a total of 30 reps, but I'm changing my foot position every 10 reps. So we got 10 reps. Again, I'm going to be doing it on the Smith machine. All right, so I don't have to worry about balancing the bar. The railing already has the bar in hand. So I'm going to be doing 10 calf raises with my toes pointed out. After that, I'm going to do another 10 immediately, but with my toes pointed in. And then the last 10, toes pointed forward. What exactly does this do? Depending on which way you're pointing your toes, that's going to emphasize which part of the gastrocnemius, remember the gastroc, the big ball of your calf, it's going to emphasize which part of that muscle is being worked. I'm not saying it's only going to be working a certain part of the gastroc. I'm just saying it's going to emphasize that particular portion a little bit more. So when we point our toes out, that's going to be working more of the inner part of your calf right here. Now, if we're going to be doing with the toes pointed in, that's going to be working more of the outer part right here. And then obviously when we point the toes forward, it's going to be working everything pretty evenly. But here's the thing, you got to get the full stretch. You got to get the full range of motion. Squeeze at the top, stretch at the bottom. For this one, you cannot go heavy. If you're going heavy, most likely you're going to be bouncing. I mean, it's pretty hard to go heavy for 30 reps. So for this one on the Smith machine, I'm just throwing on the 25. That's it. I'm feeling the burn. 10 reps, toes out, 10 reps toes in, 10 reps facing forward. Again, so if you look at your own calves and you see one part of it is lacking a little bit more, well then now you know, okay, maybe my outer calf needs a little bit more work. Okay, in that case, I want to point my toes in this direction to emphasize that. Maybe my inner calf is a little bit lacking. You know what, I'll face my toes this way now to work that part even more so. So again, that's already 2 different calf exercises that we can be doing. What is the third? Before we get into the third, we got to start thinking. Anytime we're doing these type of standing calf raises, whether it be body weight, whether it be with a Smith machine, the bar on our back, what is it that sometimes gives out on us? What do we need a lot of? We need some core stability, obviously, because we have the weight loaded on top of us. You know, we got to brace the core so we're not just flopping up and down like that. And eventually, you know, that could be the limiting factor. I'm not saying it always is, but for some people, the core strength is not there, and sometimes they start giving out. You know, they start doing the, like, you know, a little bit more of a squat, like they start hinging at the hip and then boom, explode up. No. We're gonna take that out of the equation. So what are we gonna throw in? We're gonna throw an old school calf exercise that I've seen my boy Arnold and Franco do. We're talking about donkey calf raises. Now I know it's got a funny name. I know not a lot of people even know what that is, but all a donkey calf raise is still a calf raise, but you're bending at the hip and you're leaning over either a bar, a bench, anything, and you got some type of weight pushing your hip down. Now, the way Arnold and Franco did it back in the day is that you just hop on each other and that will be the weight. So me, fortunately, I'm in a relationship. I'm a full-time boyfriend. My girlfriend just hops on my back, and as I'm doing my calf raises, you know, I'm feeling the weight from her being on me. Now, some gyms actually have a donkey calf raise machine that you can definitely use. Other people, they use a Smith machine. They just set the bar a little bit lower and put their hips underneath it. It could be a little bit awkward because you have to set it up at the right height. You got to pull another bench so you have something to lean over. But at the end of the day, the real good benefit about this particular exercise or any variation of the donkey calf raise is it takes the core stability out of the equation. You don't have to worry about bracing to hold you in position, staying stiff. No, because all the weight is loaded directly on your legs, so your upper body is free to just start leaning. So again, do with it as you please, but I highly encourage, if you could try to find a way to do these donkey calf raises, please do so. If you just absolutely can't, it looks a little too awkward, you're embarrassed, people are gonna be staring at you, if you got someone on your back while you're calf raising, just do it with a leg press. Sit down, feet on the pad, and then boom, start kicking out. I mean, leg press calf raises, donkey calf raises, it's essentially the same concept. You don't have to worry about anything in the upper body. Your leg is doing all the work. Your upper body is just being already supported. Simple. Now, we already talked about 3 calf raise variations where all of them have the knee locked out. What was it that we said earlier? We said that the gastroc is only going to be worked when the knee is locked out. That other muscle group though, the soleus, that one's going to be worked regardless, whether the knee is bent or whether the knee is locked out. But occasionally, you know, maybe we want to have a little bit more work specifically for the soleus. So what do we do for that? Easy. Seated calf raises. You could do it with a machine. You can do it just sitting on the bench if your gym doesn't have a seated calf raise for whatever reason. I've done in the past before. I built one for myself here at the home gym. I just sat on the edge of the bench. Same thing. I did a calf raise seated, but I put dumbbells on top of my knee. So as I'm going down, you know, I'm pushing my toes up and down. That works too. Just do some seated calf raises. And just like any other variation, don't just bounce up and down. Slow and control. Treat it like any other muscle group. You don't rush your lat pull downs by going up and down like this. No, you go nice and control, squeeze the upper back, and then go all the way back up. Same thing with the seated calf raises. Go all the way down, feel the stretch in the calf, and then contract on the way up. Hold it for a quick sec. Boom, get those reps in. Real easy, you'll feel the burn in the soleus. Now, lastly, that one muscle group that always seems to be neglected when it comes to the calves, we're talking about the front of the shin, tibialis anterior, tib, whatever you want to call it, we have to work it out. Now, this one's a little bit more awkward because for sure, if people don't even know what it is, people are not going to train it. Most likely, there's not going to be a gym machine that you can use. But if you are fortunate to have access to this machine, please do so. I'm talking about tib raises, tibialis raises, whatever you want to call it. Some gyms have the machine. I didn't have one here, so easy. I just built myself one. All it is you slip your foot in there and you start pointing the toes up. Again, that's the action that muscle allows you to do. It allows you to bring your toes up. So I personally like doing it one leg at a time. Some machines are wide enough where you can do both legs at the same time, but obviously you have to be seated for that. But do what you can. If you don't have access to that, then what you can do is just do it body weight. You can lean up against a wall, put a foam roller behind you so you can roll up and down, stick your legs out far away from you, and then from right there, stick your toes up. You're gonna notice your body's gonna be sliding up and down. So you're using your own body weight to do that tibialis raise. Again, it looks a little bit awkward. You may think, okay, it's not that important of a muscle group, but you gotta keep in mind, it's still part of your calf. It's still a muscle like everything else. So why are we ignoring it? Why are we emphasizing certain muscle groups but not the other? Work everything evenly. It all works together, all comes together. And if you're someone like myself who struggles with the calf size, man, I'm gonna take every inch I can get. So I'm gonna be working out that front part, because if that front part can grow, it's just gonna add to the overall mass of, you know, just basically from the knee down, the calf area. So please work it. And again, with these little exercises, like the tibialis raise especially, it can be used as prehab work. I mean, think about how many of you have ankle injuries, shin splints, knee problems, things like that. I mean, if you look at knees over toes guy, he's been blowing up. He's got some good content. He always emphasizes tibialis raises. Again, that muscle, a lot of knee problems, ankle problems, rehab injuries, prehab to prevent injuries, a lot of stuff can be attributed to that particular muscle group. So stop ignoring it. You don't necessarily have to use it always for muscle building purposes. You could also use it just for, you know, injury prevention or injury rehab. Little things like that. That's what matters. There you have it, everyone. Those are just 5 of my favorite exercises that I've been doing for calves. 5 that I've recently been really pushing hard on, and I've been noticing some good results. Granted, my calves are still small, but you know, it's a work in progress. All right, I'm getting there. I do train legs. I'm tired of people looking at my legs when I'm wearing shorts, specifically the calves, and saying, "Oh no, his calves are small. He skips legs." No. I'm proportionate from the knees up. All right, I can still squat a lot. I like to point that out. To start off, we got standing calf raises. I mean, it's a pretty popular calf exercise. I mean, it does the main function of the calf, which is, you know, coming up onto your toes, but you gotta make sure you're doing it right. Next exercise, another variation of a calf raise, is gonna be 30 calf raises. 10 with the toes pointed out, 10 pointing in, 10 pointing forward, working different parts of the calf, or I should say emphasizing different parts of the calf, because you can't just isolate just one. Again, we're emphasizing the gastroc right here, the big ball. Third, we're talking about donkey calf raises, because now we're taking the core stability and all the stuff that your upper body has to go through. We're taking that out of the equation, so all the emphasis could just be loaded just straight down on your leg. Let your calf do all the work. Donkey calf raises. Either do it with a partner, do it with a Smith machine. If your gym actually has the machine, please utilize it. Afterwards, Force exercise. We're done emphasizing the gastroc with the first 3. Now we're going to emphasizing the soleus. We're isolating that, just that one muscle group, because although all the other exercises still use the soleus, we want to hit it a little bit harder. Seated calf raises, simple. Go all the way down, feel the stretch. Go all the way up, nice and controlled. Again, feel the contraction. Stop rushing all of these reps. And then lastly, now we're working the front of the shin, tibialis raises, either with a machine, 1 leg at a time, 2 legs at a time, or just do it with your back against the wall and just go body weight. Whatever you want to do, just make sure you're doing everything right. Make sure you're hitting the right amount of sets. Make sure you're hitting the right amount of reps, and make sure you're actually working the right amount of difficulty. All right. If it feels too easy, you're not going to force your body to grow. You got to add enough stimulus to force that muscle to adapt. Simple. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Comment down below, what are your favorite calf exercises? What have you been doing to really help you build up those baby calves? Again, I need all the tips I can get, because that is my lacking, that is my lacking muscle group. That's why I wear sweats in a lot of my videos, because I'm tired of hearing all the people say, hey, you got small calves. What the fuck? But anyways, also comment down below any other video suggestions you'd like to see me do, whether it be about mindset, motivation, nutrition, diet, workouts, programs, whatever it is. I'd be more than happy to do so. Also, subscribe not just to this channel, but my girlfriend's channel and our couple's channel, so you don't miss out on any new videos, because we have new videos every week across the board for all 3 channels. For this channel specifically, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. And then Instagram and TikTok, same thing. Make sure you follow me on my accounts, girlfriend's accounts, couple's accounts. I put all the links down in the description below. With that being said, I'll catch y'all next time.